Hey guys, it's Short Star, and I'm back. Hope you guys are having a great week, and let's get right into it. I'm actually drinking some tea, some ginger lemon tea. Yeah, you see the mug, Short Star, on both sides, all the way around. Something new, you know. Had to get rid of that little childish super friend mug, and had to get something for myself. Hmm. Okay, so I wanted to start this video off with stating rest in peace to Mr. George Foreman. And I know that a lot of us of a certain age, we know that George Foreman was a former heavyweight boxing champion. But some people that are younger might only remember him from the George Foreman grills. So, so Mr. Foreman passed away last week at the age of 76. And Mr. Foreman was a former heavyweight boxing champion, right? And I wanted to state some of his stats because he wasn't just about the George Foreman grill. Mr. Foreman had 81 total fights during his career with an overall record of 76 and 5. He had 68 wins by knockout, and he was inducted into both the World Boxing Hall of Fame and the International Boxing Hall of Fame. So, again, rest in peace, Mr. Foreman. Okay? Now, let's get to some other betting. Now, this betting is from a casino in Florida. And some of you guys that bet and travel, you may want to maybe try to find or check out this particular casino. I've never heard of the place or it, but we're about to get into it right now. Okay. A gambler bet $8.80 on slot machines, then wins big jackpot at Florida casino. Again, $8.80. Now I'm used to playing the dollar slots. I've gone to Atlantic City and, of course, Vegas, and I'm not a big gambler. And I don't really play anything other than Uno, some spades, little things like that. But as far as gambling, nah, not so much. But again, I played the dollar machines and I paid the quarter machines. I don't know what kind of machines you play where you bet $8.80. Where is that extra 20 cents to make it a dollar? Or these dime machines or whatever? Not quite sure. But again, I'm going to state to you about this casino. Like I said, if you find yourself in Florida and you hey, who knows? Because this person spent less than $10 and they won $130,759.62. So $8.80 brought them $130,759.62 richer. Okay, so it can happen, but something about this particular casino, they've had a lot of winners just recently. Like one guest, right, for instance, um, spent $5.28. I don't know how they spent 28 cents. I'm not sure, but all the um, casino games have names, and they are playing on this particular game, the dancing drum slot machines. And that's what the other person just won $130,000 on. So this particular visitor spent, like I said, $525.28. Again, 28 cents on the dancing drum slot machine and won $11,102.37. Another visitor played $5, but they used a different machine. They used the Dragon Link machine and they won $100,000. So those that like to gamble, and this is the Amicali Casino, is an unincorporated community in Colliers County, which is about 35 miles southeast of Fort Myers. So if you find yourself in Florida and Fort Myers, check out this little casino. It might do you some good. I don't know. Okay, so now we're going to stay with the casinos and the bets. Now um, let's go to a woman. Okay, I don't know how I would take this particular one. I'm going to be real honest with you. Okay, yeah, I got to take my glasses off for this one. $83.5 million. Okay? Now keep that amount in your mind. $83.5 million. Okay? So this is how the story goes. A woman won $83.5 million in the lottery, but won't see a dime due to a technicality. I'm going to read you the story, and then I'm going to tell you what I think, okay? Now, this happened in Texas. Keep in mind, this is Texas. Now, a woman won 83.5 million in the lotto, and they're withholding her winnings. The state lottery officials have refused to give her the prize money from February 17th jackpot due to a strange technicality. Now you would say, what technicality would that be, right? Well, this is what happened. Apparently in Texas, you can buy lottery tickets through a third party. Okay. Now here in New Jersey, I play lotto through Lotto. I play the real lotto machine, or I can play through my phone. I don't have to really go through a third party because even the app is the Lotto app, so it's not a third party. Well, apparently in Texas, they can play lotto through a third party. And that's what she did. And they're saying because of the third party, they don't want to pay her. They're saying it was a technicality, whatever that was. They're not stating what that was. However, okay, because I'm going to state this to you. She says that this is what the woman who stays, the person, the winner that wants to stay anonymous. She says, I'm very disappointed, she told the outlet. I think that this is just a political game that they want to play. The woman also explained how she only spent $20 to win this money. I didn't spend 26 million to run every single possible combination of numbers, she continued. I did nothing wrong. Okay, so what they're saying is apparently there's a huge problem in Texas as of late that the governor, Greg Abbott, has ordered the Texas Rangers to investigate her lotto win and also investigate the website that she ordered her, the third party, which is called Jackpot. Okay, so what they're saying is, she says that is nothing wrong with her ordering through a third party because that's how it's done. Like they're like, she's like, I don't understand what the problem is. Why? I don't understand why you would play through a third party. I really don't. I would never chance it because then would you have to give them a part? Like, I don't understand what do you gain by playing through a third party? Do they give you better odds? I don't know. I don't know. So what I will say, they said there's been a huge problem with them lately, and I don't know. I think I think that they're just trying to find a way not to pay, because I look at it like this. Listen, if I play lotto, you take my bet, right? If I lose, you keep my money. So it was a legitimate bet if you look at it that way, right? So then if I bet and you take my money and place my bet, if I lose, now there's something wrong. How does that work? Because if I lose, you kept my money. You didn't return my money and say, you know what, this shouldn't have been done through a third party. So we're going to return your money. Even though you lost, we're going to return your money. That's not what you did. You kept it. I don't know. I first have to try to figure out why they have to play through a third party, because like I know here in New York and New Jersey, Lotto has its own website and its own spot to go to if you want to go through your phone. You know what I mean? So my thing is, what's the problem? What's really the problem? I mean, I know that that's a lot of money. And apparently this is just, like I said, it's a third party. They are couriers. You pay them, they put your bet in, you get your receipt. I don't know. She said she also, the winner also states that there seems to be a problem about the app. It's called Jackpot. And what you do is you purchase your lottery tickets through Jackpot, and they're just counted as the courier that puts in your ticket, and they charge you a service fee. They do it for you. So I don't understand, but I'm sure we're not we haven't heard the end of it, I'm sure. I mean, I just couldn't imagine $83.5 million just gone like that. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're gonna move to Florida. Okay, apparently um two men got into a fight, two homeless men got into a fight, and this happened in Florida. It says man dug a grave for victim. He struck in the head multiple times, but he was still alive, police say. Okay, so the story goes like this. Two homeless men, right, got into a fight. Um this happened at a transient camp. It's in DeLand, Florida. A transient camp is a homeless camp where homeless people live. So it was at a transient camp in DeLand, Florida, and two men got into a fight. One man struck a man in the head with something. They didn't state what it was multiple times, making him unconscious. The man that struck him in the head drags the unconscious man into a wooded area, which is not far from the transient camp. So then finally, when the police arrived, the police can't find a victim, can't find the two men that were fighting. And the people at the camp tell the police that one of the men drove the unconscious man, into the wooded area. So these police officers are a canine unit. So they go to their car, they get their dogs, and they go into the woods looking for the men. Now, this is all on video. You can go on YouTube and you can go on the internet and Google it. You will be able to find it. This happened in Florida. The man that struck the other man multiple times is called Giovanni Butnick. He's 29 years old. He attacked the unnamed man in a transient camp in DeLand, Florida, by striking him in the back of the head multiple times. The alleged victim was found unconscious. So again, back to the story, the police go into the wooded area with their dogs, the canine unit, looking for these men. They come upon the man. He's either dug the grave or digging the grave with the unconscious man next to it. He was going to bury the man alive, allegedly. Okay. So I don't know what old boy did to do, but he knocked him out and was going to bury him alive. I was watching this thing on YouTube just yesterday, and they were showing a young lady at a bus stop, and then there was a man standing a few feet away from her. And it was showing the young women and women these days how they are not aware of their surroundings. Meaning, this young woman had her earplugs in, she's on her phone. She saw the man standing next to her. They're the only two standing at the bus stop. She saw him standing next to him, but she turned her back on him. And the man that was narrating the video was stating, women, never put your back to a stranger. You don't know what his intentions are. And since you are the only one there, you find something with a flat back. You put your back against a wall. Therefore, no one's behind you, and you can completely see your surroundings. Little tips like that. And I was thinking, and I'm thinking at a transient camp, plenty of times I've been guilty of it. I don't do it anymore. But when I was younger, I tried to avoid the homeless. When I saw them coming my way, I'll go the other way. I act like I didn't see them. And I'm sure plenty of us do it. But we need to be alert. But you never know what's coming at you these days. Mental illness is real. I keep telling you. You don't know. You can walk past a person and he can turn directly around and attack you. Right when you get past them. You don't know. You have to be alert, people. So yeah. Now the homeless are attacking each other and trying to bury each other alive, pretty much. Let's go to Pennsylvania. Okay, so I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Jesse Smollett story. A few years ago, he claimed that he was accosted and assaulted by two men, and a noose was put on his neck. This happened in Chicago. when he was filming Empire, happened on a blizzard, a night of a blizzard or something. And come to find out, it was allegedly found out to be a hoax. And I think to this day, Jesse still states that it really happened, even though the brothers that he claimed did it have come forward and stated that he pretty much paid them to do it. So I don't know. But nevertheless, part two, get into it. Okay, so now, allegedly, a Pennsylvania city worker, she works in City Hall. She's accused of staging a hate crime hoax after allegedly planting a noose at her own desk. Okay? So let's dig into this a little bit. Okay, so let's go. So apparently a Pennsylvania city worker was accused Monday of staging a fake hate crime after she allegedly planted a noose at her own desk, according to police. Allentown City Hall employee Latasha Brown was charged with a pair of criminal counts after DNA pulled from the noose only belonged to her, authority states. Though one of her pals claims she's innocent, Brown initially stated that she made the shocking discovery at her desk on January 10th when she arrived for work, leading to the investigation and the community protests. Now, of course, she's an African-American woman working at City Hall that's claiming a noose was put on her desk. So, of course, the community is going to be in an uproar. They're going to protest. They're going to have a problem. Absolutely. We're talking about Pennsylvania now, okay? So, with that said, what they did was, you gotta remember, out of everybody that's always looking for a crime, you gotta remember they have people, the city, the federal government, the FBI, they have people that just their sole job is to reenact the crime and to try to figure it out. However, so what they did was, I guess you have to scan, like we all do, have to scan in and out. So I'm just assuming they didn't give a time, but me, allegedly, I'm state that the woman left, Latasha Brown left her office at 5 o'clock on the 9th of January. She arrived back to work at 9 a.m. on the 10th of January. So what they did was they looked at who was in the building, camera-wise, scan-wise, whatever. I don't know. They didn't say how many, but I'm just hypothetically saying, say 20 people were in the building between 5 p.m. on the 9th and 9 a.m. on the 10th. They got them together and they asked everyone for samples of DNA. Every one of them had no problem with it. When they asked Ms. Brown, she did not want to give her DNA. So what did they do? They got a judge to make her give DNA. Well, they found out that her DNA was the only DNA on the noose. What she didn't take into consideration was, imagine braiding hair. This is just my thing. Imagine braiding hair. If someone, say you're on the outside of here, you touch it, okay, it'll be on the outside, but when you're braiding, the hair is going up and under, over and under, over and under. So your DNA is going in and out of that hair. Same thing with the noose. When they took the noose apart and tested it, her DNA was entwined into the knots and into how the noose is made. Now, people that support her, and of course, because she's an African-American woman working at City Hall, finding a noose on her desk, people are in an uproar. People are supporting her. And they're stating that they think it's a setup. They don't understand that it's, they don't believe it. They think it's setting her up and this, that, and the other. They said that she already admitted to touching the noose and picking it up off of her desk, but touching it outside and picking it up does not explain why your DNA is intertwined into the knotting of the noose, which means pretty much allegedly you knotted it and your DNA is the only DNA on the noose. Okay, so Yeah, so what they're doing is they're trying to charge her with that now with lying. I have no idea why she did it. And apparently she's actually on other, yeah, she has other jobs. She works there, right? But then apparently she's also on the school board, the district school board in Allentown. So she has some positions. So I don't understand. They're not stating why she would do something like this. They feel like, they're stating her people that supported her are stating that this is retaliation. Retaliation for what they're not really saying, but they're saying it's retaliation because Miss Brown already admitted to touching the noose. But again, like I stated, intertwined. They didn't go that far, and she didn't think that far, allegedly. So, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I don't know. We'll see. But I just want to let you know, as fast as people can think of a crime, there's somebody out there whose sole job is to figure out what really happened, if they care to. Okay, so yeah. So we're going to move on to Tennessee, which should be a happier time when you speak of a wedding and things of the sort, but we're finding out not so much. Okay, um, a Tennessee bride has been found unalived by toilet on luxury honeymoon after she was beaten, assaulted by her husband. Okay, this is the pictures of them. She's some type of Asian, and he's Caucasian, so it seems. So just wanted to put that out there so you understand. Now let's get into the story. Okay, the story states that they had a whirlwind romance. Now, when they say whirlwind, I don't know if they mean they've known each other for a week, 2 weeks, a couple of months, a couple of months, but it's something really fast. But let's start from the beginning. A newlywed bride was found unalived next to a toilet at a luxury Fiji resort after arguing with her husband on her honeymoon. Her name was Christy Chen, glowing in a beautiful white wedding dress. She beamed at her new husband, Bradley Robert Dawson, on their wedding day in February 2022. The intimate ceremony, attended by close family and friends, marked the culmination of their whirlwind romance. Some family members met Dawson for the first time on the wedding day itself. So it must have really been fast because her family met him on the wedding day. So, which means she didn't really know him. Okay. The newlyweds then settled into their recently purchased home in Memphis, Tennessee, eagerly participating their extravagant honeymoon in July 2022. The couple chose Fiji and the South Pacific as their honeymoon destination. Dawson had previously married his first wife there in 2019, and Christy had visited Fiji Islands with her parents in the past. Now, do you find it weird that this same place that he's taking on a honeymoon, he was there 2019, 3 years ago, where he married his first wife. He married her there, and you take your second wife there for your honeymoon. Sound like that Martin episode where he had took the ex girlfriend to the resort and then he wanted to take you. Yeah, okay. So the couple had booked a stay at the luxurious Turtle Island Resort. Now, get into this resort. Now, I looked up Fiji a few years ago. I wanted to go to Fiji. And when I tell you expensive, I mean expensive. And I'm going to show you. Okay. They booked at the luxury Turtle Island Resort, located on an exclusive private 500-acre island, okay, in the Fiji Islands. And just a fun fact, the 1980 film Blue Lagoon, starring Brooke Shields, was filmed at this particular resort. Okay, for those of us from 1980, I know some of you guys weren't born yet, but for 1980, a huge movie, Blue Lagoon. was filmed at this resort. Also, icon Britney Spears and her ex-husband Kevin Federline honeymooned at this resort in 2004. Okay? The secluded adult-only hotel, which costs $3,500 per night, only hosts 14 couples at a time. It has 14 villas just steps away from the crystal clear waters and immaculate white sand beaches. Guests typically arrive by seaplane and can enjoy luxuries such as private chefs and butlers. Okay, so that's $3,500 a night, and a vacation for me is what, 7 to 10 days? No way. Okay, so however, after spending 2 days there, staff noticed on July 9th that Christie and Dawson hadn't appeared for breakfast or lunch. Later that afternoon, their butlers went to their villas and made a horrifying discovery. They found Christie's lifeless body in the bathroom, slumped in a small space between the toilet and the wall. Okay? Christie was discovered covered in blood with multiple injuries, including blunt force trauma to the head and lacerations to the face. Dawson had disappeared, seemingly having fled. Okay. Other guests reported that the couple had been at an evening event the previous night where they had been drinking and were seen arguing as they left the venue. Okay. Disturbing noises were later heard emanating from their villa. But because of the honeymoon, you can't show up. You don't know what noises you might hear on a honeymoon. You know what I mean? Okay, so authorities found that Dawson had taken a kayak, a little boat, and managed to reach another island 1 mile away, where he was subsequently captured. Okay? Upon his arrest, police discovered his passport, cash, and personal items, leading him to suspect that he was trying to escape the scene. Okay? The pain suffered by Christie's family was further intensified when they learned her body was so severely damaged that they couldn't embalm her to transport her back to the US. They was forced to cremate her in Fiji. Dawson's trial took place in Fiji in December of 2024, not very long ago, where he claimed he had taken a kayak to a nearby island to give his wife some space following an argument. Okay. However, the prosecution contended that he had packed personal items with the intent of fleeing and had intentionally left behind his GPS watch and phone to avoid detection. Dawson received a life sentence last month in February in the Fijis, and the Fiji justice system stipulating that he must serve at least 18 years before being considered for parole or pardon. Now that's a life sentence, but he has to serve 18 years before he's even able to get anything. Okay, so, but they don't explain why. I don't understand. He took her to the same place he got married to his first wife 3 years before. They had a whirlwind romance to the point where her family met him for the first time at the wedding. Girl, I don't know. And they're not saying why and what happened. It pretty much seems like he's pretty much saying he didn't do it. He got in a kayak and kayak to another island 1 mile away to give her space. Give her space. Okay, so listen, I'm just telling you the story. I have no idea. But he is now in jail in Fiji for at least 18 years for what we know for right now. You know what I mean? Wow. Okay, so this one. We're going to go to... let's see where we need to go, because this one is a little disturbing. I'm gonna tell you, you'd be amazed at some of the stories some of the stories I don't even bring to you. Some of them are so crazy, and everything is so violent and so kill, and death, and unaliving. It's just too much sometimes. But this is what I'm gonna do. Let's get to this story. We were just talking about the Gene Hackman and a few weeks ago, and we were talking about how, him being 90 years old and his wife was 65 years old, and she was his primary caregiver, and he had what, 3 or 4 children. Um, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. That's because he's 90s, so he didn't have young kids. And they said that they hadn't spoken to their dad in weeks or months. You have a 90-year-old dad with dementia or Alzheimer's, and you don't check on him at all. And freak accidents, that's exactly what happened with that. His wife is his primary caregiver. Something happens to her. Him not being in the right state of mind, not knowing something happened to her, not knowing what's going on around him. And a week later, he perishes from no care. Listen, people. Okay, so this one. Daughter arrested after elderly mother with dementia killed by dog attack. Okay? Again, daughter arrested after elderly mother, okay, with dementia killed by dog attack. Okay, so this is what happened here. Okay, so this woman, I'm saying that lightly, calling her a woman. She's more of an animal. But okay, a woman in southern Colorado is in police custody after her dogs, and I say dogs lightly, wait till you hear the story, allegedly attacked and killed her elderly mother, according to the county sheriff's office, okay? Deputies were called to a home on Jefferson Boulevard after receiving a report of an unconscious woman. When they arrived, they found a 76-year-old woman, LaVon Hoff, unalived, according to KKTV. The deputies also found several dogs running loose inside the house and another 24 dogs and 7 birds locked up in cages. So there's they use the word several dogs running loose in the house. And as the police go through the house, they find 24, which is 24 more dogs and 7 birds in cages. Okay? An autopsy was performed on the woman and found that she had been killed by the dog attacks. She'd been mauled. Okay? Why would you leave your 76-year-old mom in a house with loose attack dogs? Because I'm sure they didn't just become violent that day. Okay. Deputies also learned that the woman had dementia and required 24-hour care. The sheriff detectives conducted an extensive investigation and learned that Jessica Hoff, that's the daughter, left her mother at home alone with her dogs that day while she went out to run errands. Okay. LaVon Hoff reportedly had dementia and required 24-hour care. Detectives learned that while LaVon Hoff was left alone, she was attacked by the dogs that were loose in the home. Okay, they don't say how many, they just say several. Jessica Hoff, 47, the woman's daughter, left her mother home alone with the dogs during the day while she ran errands. While she was out, the animals reportedly attacked the woman and unalived her. Okay? After deputies executed a search warrant at Jessica Hoff's second property, discovered more dogs and birds in cages. Okay, y'all ready for this? In total, this woman had 54 dogs and 7 birds. That's what she kept in the house. Altogether, between the two houses, it was what? 24 in the cage and 7 birds, and then it was numerous or several running around. Then they go to the house, I'm sure if it's altogether 54 and 12 is 24. So they found another, are you kidding me? They found another 20-something dogs there? Because they never said how many dogs was actually running around the house that Mauled the mother. Okay, so the Jessica Hoff, the daughter, is now arrested, and she's facing criminal negligence results in the death of a at-risk adult and 54 counts of aggravated cruelty to animals. She is being held at the county jail with $50,000 bond, and yeah, um, barbaric. And you left your mother. You left your mother in the house with these animals. Now, who's the animal? Ugh, I tell you. Okay, so let's go to United Airlines, and this one normally we're talking about problems with the planes, and this is not necessarily that. This ain't that. Okay, so what this is? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so it states United pilot dragged passenger out of bathroom for taking too long. Repeat. United pilot dragged passenger out of bathroom for taking too long. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into this a little bit. Okay, so this states, wow, incredible. A passenger claimed a United Airlines pilot forcibly ejected him from an airline bathroom while he was suffering from a constipation caused his private parts to be exposed to fellow passengers during a flight. New Jersey residents detailed his alleged ordeal, I'm sorry, people, on the Tulum, Mexico to Houston flight in a federal lawsuit filed this week against both the airline and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. He claims that upon landing, officers from the department boarded the plane and led him away in handcuffs. Okay, so this is how we go. These are two passengers are Orthodox Jewish travelers, okay? One last name is Liebet, okay, because I don't want to mess up their names like that. And I don't know quite what the other one name is at the time. But anyway, Liebet and his friend were traveling. They alleged that they were forced to miss a connecting flight to New York because customs came on a plane and took them off in handcuffs and detained them and put them in holding cells and searched their luggage and all of these things. Okay, so the story goes that the officers responded to a disturbance on a flight. Right now, he states that he was in the bathroom. Lieb states that he was in the bathroom because he has a problem with his stomach. Okay? Now, that he was in the bathroom for about 20 minutes on January 28th of 2025 when a flight attendant woke up. Oh, his friend name is Sabag. So it's Sabag. So the flight attendant woke up Sabag, which is his friend, from a nap and asked Sabag to check on his friend because he's been in the bathroom a long time, right? Okay, so Lee recounted his he had a gastric problem, and reassured Sabag that he would soon be out of the bathroom, which Sabag communicated to the flight attendant per the lawsuit. Roughly 10 minutes on, when Liebad still was in the bathroom, so this 20 minutes or 10 more minutes, so he's been in the bathroom 30 minutes now. 10 minutes later, he's still in the bathroom. At this point, the pilot approaches Sabag and requests he go check on his friend Lieb. Okay, the lawsuit details. The pilot then proceeds to shout at Lieb through the door of the bathroom, demanding an immediate exit from the laboratory. The lawsuit continues. Lieb claims he informed the pilot he was nearly done and would exit shortly. Okay, So what did the pilot do? The pilot reaction escalated to breaking the lock on the bathroom door and prying the door open and yanking Liev from the toilet while his pants is still down, exposing him to Sabag, the cabin crew, and nearby passengers, the lawsuit alleged. According to Liev and Sabag, the pilot shoved them toward their seat while Liev pants are still down by his ankles, threatening to arrest and making derogatory comments about their faith, including "this is how Jews act," is what the pilot allegedly stated. And once the flight landed in Houston, they had police come on and six custom and border patrol officers came on, handcuffed them, and like I said, took them off. They missed their connecting flight and was treated like criminals. Welcome to our world. I don't know. I think most of us that have flown, we know that there are times you can use the bathroom and there are times you can't use the bathroom during flight. They don't like you to use the bathroom during takeoff. They don't like you using the bathroom during landing. You know, when the lights go up, when the bathroom lights or whatever, you may get up and walk. You know the routine. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is someone thinking they're special and want special treatment, or is it someone that has a gastric problem and they're in the bathroom and they can't do anything about it? What are they supposed to do? But I'm thinking at the times that we are, at the things that are going on in the world, someone being in the bathroom for 30 minutes during a flight, I can see how it can be problematic. I can actually see it being a problem. You at this time you don't know what's going on for 30 minutes. That's a long time for someone to be out of sight and locked into a room. So I don't know. I don't know. But when you have to go, you have to go. And if he really has a gastric problem, I don't know. And for you to break the lock and kick in the door and drag him out because once you broke the lock and kicked in the door, you see him sitting on a toilet at that point. Before you actually reach in and grab him, you actually see him sitting there. Even though you overreacted by breaking the lock and kicking the door in, once the door opened, you saw him sitting on the commode with his pants at his ankles. At that point, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. That sounds diabolical. It sounds crazy. I don't know. Nevertheless, we will see how that one goes, I'm sure. Now, I know a lot of us are about to go on vacation or have been on vacation, and I know a lot of us take cruises. I love cruises. I just don't feel it's time for a cruise yet. I don't think that I'm ready to be put in a vessel for days or for a week with a certain amount of people. I don't know, with the flu and things going on. Nevertheless, tell me, would this freak you out? And this is coming from some U.S. citizens that were on this particular cruise. This cruise didn't happen in the U.S., but this is coming from some U.S. citizens that were on this particular cruise. And I don't know if I would. I don't know if they let them know this ahead of time. I don't know how I would actually feel about this, but tell me. I'm going to tell you and you tell me. Okay. Cruise passengers told to remain alert and turn off lights as ship pass through a spot known for piracy. Okay. Okay. I've been on cruises, of course. I mean, I've never heard that. I mean, I've heard of course, there's pirates. You see them, go to YouTube, pull them up. You can see them where they're trying to attack oil tankers and cruise ships and different things, and the different things that the cruise ships are using, the water hoses, the water guns, where they make everything wet, 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 and they keep shooting them with this high-powered water so they can never board the boat, things like that. But I don't know if I would go on a cruise where there's a certain part where from 8 o'clock tonight to 6 in the morning, we have to cut out the lights outside the ship. No one can be on any deck. Everyone has to be in their room. and they're asking you to not use your room lights. And if you have to, please, they want everyone to pull their curtains and drapes, no one on their balconies, no one. Okay, I don't know how I would feel about that, but I'm going to explain to you the situation and tell me what you think. Okay? Um, this is the Queen Anne advised passengers, Queen Anne cruise ship advised passengers to remain cautious while the ship passed through a piracy-prone area in Southeast Asia, according to a Thursday, March 13th warning, right? Okay, passengers are told via a loudspeaker announcement that the area they are passing through, which ships that's coming from Darwin, Australia, Manila, Philippines, they all cross through this piracy area where it's known for piracy, where they try to take over the ships and things like that, right? Okay, so they're telling you what through the loudspeaker on the ship now, you know, as a result, the crews will be operating at a heightened level of security alertness during this period. They're asking you to go to your room, close your shades, close your curtains, cut off your lights. Like what? Huh? I'm on vacation. I gotta do all. I can't be at the casino. I can't watch a show. What? I can't go on deck to get some fresh. What? Okay. During this period, which includes an external promenade deck being closed overnight. Okay, no one's outside on any of the decks overnight, and deck lights will be on to reduce the ship's external lighting. So they're going to put the lights on inside to a point where you're safe to walk around or whatever to see, but there's no the lights you would see coming from the ship. They're stopping that. Okay. So the announcement also requests that passengers turn off your stateroom lights when not needed and close the curtains of your stateroom window or balcony. Okay. So are they asking us to be quiet and huddle in the corner? As part of the standard maritime procedure, our captain may make precautionary announcements when sailing through certain regions. The representative of Cunard Cruise Line told Business Insider there was no specific threat to this particular ship or its guests. It's just an onboard experience that happens pretty often. I don't know if I would want to be on a cruise that's going through areas that's known for piracy. And because it takes you a certain length of time to get through this region, because apparently it's nighttime because they're talking about the lights. And I think they set it up so they go through at night instead of day. So you go through this area at night, they want you to cut out the lights and close your net. That's too much for a vacation. You asking me to do too much. It's more of a vacation. I don't work here. Okay. So I had to remind a lady in Bloomingdale the other day. I asked her for something and she asked me, did I mind? I told her, I shop here. I don't work here. And that was no shade, but like, come on, people. Let's not forget our roles. I don't know. I don't think that would you actually want to be on a cruise where it goes through regions where piracy is known to happen? I don't think it's worth it for me. I rather not. I'd rather not because we have known it to happen in the past, and there's movies about that. So I don't know. I think I pass. I think I pass. Okay, this is my last story, people. Okay, a mom passes away. Okay, now I know I have quite a few nurses that follow me on my page and everything. So tell me what you think about this. A mom passes away, right? 90 minutes after being injected with dye for CT scan. Okay. I don't know how, from what I'm reading, from reading this article, there's a lot of things that can happen to you with this dye from what I'm seeing and reading. Okay. So let's get into this a little bit and then I'm going to let you guys go. Leah Rogers went into anaphylactic shock from the contrast dye. And her mother thinks that the alleged risks of the dye weren't explained properly. So apparently there's a lot of risks that come with using this dye for the CT scans. So apparently a woman went into anaphylactic shock, right? Her name was Leah Rogers, 34 years old. She couldn't get a dentist appointment for a tooth infection, right? The delay caused the pain in her mouth to spread down to her neck and her chest. Doctors thought the mom from County Durham, England, had Ludwig's angina, which is a life-threatening bacterial infection commonly caused by an abscess on your tooth. Never didn't know that. Okay, doctors ordered a CT scan, thinking that pretty much she had the Ludwig angina. So they used a CT scan to see. They injected her with the contrast dye to enhance visibility, and Leah went in for the CT scan on March 7th. Um, and she suffered a fatal allergic reaction and passed away. And her family seems to think that not enough um, is being told about this contrast dye, where people are being not being told that this could happen or this can happen if you do it. They're pretty much ordering the test, maybe give you a pamphlet which you may not read because you're in pain. Remember, this woman had a tooth that the pain went from here to here to here. She wasn't trying to read no pamphlet. Um, and the mother feels like if she just could have gotten a dentist appointment, but you don't know. The dentist appointment, sometimes I've seen people go to the dentist and whatever the situation is have been so far gone, they send you to a hospital. I've seen that. I don't know. They just feel like they felt like the hospital didn't do enough in explaining the harmful effects and what could happen by taking the contrast dye for the CT scan. So I tell you, we have to ask more questions and we have to know what people are putting in our body. I don't know. I just wanted you guys to know I love you guys. Pray for the families. I want you guys to stay intentional. And I love you guys. Until next time, be good. Stay out of trouble. Have a great week. And I'll speak to you soon. Peace.